undergo the same travesty that had befallen any individual. I happen to be known, I happen to be supported by many people. But we must stop this once and for all, and it is our duty, particularly in Pakatan Harapan, to end this.
This bulletin is brought to you by Good Morning Pihalia. Enjoy the warmth and indulge in the deliciousness.
Good morning, good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Prasad Michael and you're watching KiniFlash. Anwar Ibrahim is officially a free and innocent man today after Istana Negara confirmed that the PKR de facto leader had been granted a full pardon. Following the full pardon, Anwar can now actively participate in politics. Anwar was sent to jail for the second time in 2015 for sodomy, a charge he claimed was politically motivated. This afternoon at his residence, Anwar Ibrahim held his first press conference in years.
So I would like to begin by expressing my deep gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course. Begin with that. Then to express also my profound gratitude to Yang di-Pertuan Agong, who immediately summoned us to the palace. So I and Aziza with Saudara Azmin went to the palace, spent 1 hour audience with the king, expressing our gratitude, and also to discuss general issues and current affairs and international issues. I was deeply gratified by the wealth of knowledge and the concern and compassion showed by the king. I would like to clarify on the point of the pardon. Pardon normally is given to those who have somewhat accepted the judgment of the court and then appeal to the king for pardon. In my case, we appealed because there was a miscarriage of justice. We appealed because there was travesty of justice. We appealed because there was clear conspiracy to condemn me, assassinate my political character. And I praise to Allah because the king accepted this, that the pardon is complete, unconditional, and due to our appeal, in particular Aziza, that there was miscarriage of justice on Anwar. Therefore, in the comment or statement by the prison director just now, I don't need to sign any document because the entire conviction is erased automatically. Now, there is a new dawn for Malaysia. I must thank the people of Malaysia. Malays, Chinese, Indians, Kadazan, Iban, the entire spectrum of Malaysians, regardless of race and religion, who stood by the principles of democracy and freedom. They demand change, and it is our duty now to ensure that this mandate given to Pakatan Harapan would honor this commitment.
At the press conference, Anwar was asked to share his most significant lesson from being imprisoned. This is what he said.
I have said, and I would reiterate, the most significant lesson one can learn from prison life is the value of freedom. When you are incarcerated, you realize what is the meaning and significance of freedom. No one, is not Anwar or Achong or Murugam, anyone must not be allowed to undergo the same travesty that had befallen any individual. I happen to be known, I happen to be supported by many people. But we must stop this once and for all, and it is our duty, particularly in Pakatan Harapan, to end this.
Anwar Ibrahim also said he is not in a rush to become Prime Minister and has pledged his support for the current leadership of Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail.
Yeah, the question on timeline. I discussed this with Dr. Mahathir. My position is to give him all the support necessary to allow him to ensure that the agenda for reform, the changes that need to be done, be effectively carried out. And I don't think I would be seen to be either hasty to demand or to insist on any immediate time frame. I've told him that I've got invitations by renowned universities throughout the world to give series of lectures. I'm not going to stay there for a few years, don't worry. But naturally, I have a fellowship, weeks or month, from renowned universities, Harvard and Georgetown University and Stanford and some other parts of the Muslim world. Because I think I have a small contribution to make to show that the voice of reason and moderation in Islam is paramount. Number two, that Muslims can also be counted upon to ensure that there's freedom and justice for all citizens in their country.
If you're wondering what Anwar Ibrahim thinks of former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak after all this is what Anwar had to say.
Well, I don't know whether Datuk Seri Najib would be facing, because it would depend on the investigations and the charges preferred. But as I have said, in the second case of incarceration, Datuk Seri Najib was clearly involved, and I was gratified when the King made clear reference to that. But I have no personal malice towards that. I don't want an issue of Anwar being incarcerated to be an issue made against him. But the issue of injustice towards the people, crime committed against the people, endemic corruption that has become a culture in this country, that he has to answer. But when it comes to my personal welfare, I have forgiven. I want to move on. I have no malice towards Najib or anyone else.
Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says Pakatan Harapan will hold discussions tomorrow on whether Anwar Ibrahim will hold any position in government.
Ya, dulu dikatakan saya yang masuk dia dalam tahanan. Sekarang saya bebas dia.
So, while in the interim you're still Prime Minister, what would be the role of Anwar Ibrahim in the new administration?
He is not a member of parliament, therefore his role will be in the party. So what his role will be, tomorrow I hope to have a meeting of the Presidential Council. It is the Presidential Council which appointed all of us. And if there are going to be any changes involving Datuk Seri Anwar, it is the Presidential Council which must decide.
The Ministry of Finance today announced that the goods and services tax rate will be reduced from 6% to 0% effective June 1st. The announcement came shortly after Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad announced that he had instructed the government to stop collecting GST.
Saya seperti mana tuan-tuan tentu maklum amat sibuk kerana saya perlu yang pertamanya ketahui dengan lebih mendalam tentang kerajaan, tugas-tugas kerajaan dan mendapat taklimat berkenaan dengan isu-isu yang telah kita bangkitkan dalam pilihan raya. Di antaranya ialah bagaimana kita nak tamatkan GST. Arahan telah diberi supaya kita tak kutip GST lagi dan kita akan cuba bayar balik kepada mereka yang membuat tuntutan kerana pihak kerajaan telah memungut lebih daripada yang perlu dibayar cukai GST ini.
Besok hari Khamis, so hari minyak biasanya harga minyak biasa ditentukan pada hari Rabu. So macam mana situasi?
Tak ada naik turun tak ada. Presidency will stay. Kalau ada tak cukup, government will subsidize.
In a press conference at the Pradana Leadership Foundation in Putrajaya this afternoon, Dr. Mahathir also disclosed what former Attorney General Abdul Ghani Patel told him during a meeting yesterday.
You met with the former AG Ghani Patel yesterday. So what did Ghani Patel do to you?
I want to know what happened when he was removed and what was the result of his investigation.
So what happened when he was removed?
What happened when he was removed? Well, he claims that he was preparing to charge Najib, and that morning he was deprived of his position.
And now, to balance this out with some opposition news, UMNO wants the new government to appoint members of cabinet in accordance with the federal constitution and with respect for the Conference of Rulers. Former Minister Abdul Rahman Dahlan, who is also no longer an MP, said cabinet appointments done in a disorganized and cowboy-like manner will lead to the nation losing integrity and respect. The UMNO Communications Unit member cited Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad's announcement that Lim Guan Eng would be appointed as Finance Minister as an example. Rahman said this announcement had drawn a negative reaction from members of the public, since Lim is facing corruption charges. On Monday, Mahathir said the DAP Secretary General must clear his name before being sworn in as a minister. If you want to catch a glimpse of Anwar Ibrahim, he will be speaking at Padang Timur in Petaling Jaya tonight. He's expected to arrive at 10 p.m. And that's all from me today. For more stories, go to KiniTV.com. Please subscribe and share this video. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.
Malaysia's first multi-grain brand. The champion is Good Morning.